The immortal John Hancock here, and today I'd like to talk about some PlayStation 5 rumors, and from a couple sources. Semi-accurate is reporting potentially that the PlayStation 5 will be released in 2018, possibly at the end of the year. That's pretty crazy, and so I wanted to talk about that, my thoughts on it, what it could possibly be, and do we need a PlayStation 5 in 2018? So, looking at some general data here from Wikipedia, the last 20 years. And so Sony, PlayStation 1 came out in 95, PS2 came out in 2000. Again, these are North American release years. PS3 came out in 2006, and PlayStation 4 came out in 2013, with the PS4 Pro coming out in 2016. So, you know, there's 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and possibly, you know, we're looking at like, you know, 3 years for the, you know, 4.5 PlayStation 4 Pro. And so, does it make sense for Sony to have a console come out in 2018? And I think so, possibly, for many reasons. So, you know, the one problem with the PlayStation 4 Pro is that it's not as powerful as the Xbox One X. PlayStation 4 came out, you know, 2013. It's starting to get older. It'll officially, you know, coming to the end of this year, it'll be 5 years old. And, you know, they could jump the gun and get ahead of Microsoft. Now, the Xbox One X came out, and I think it potentially could be the low end of their next gen console, though they're not really saying that. I've said that in some previous videos, that the Xbox One X could possibly be considered Microsoft's, you know, entry-level console for their next gen, but they're not going to call it that. So it's really confusing. I have a PlayStation 4 Pro. I'm happy with it. I think the games look great. The console, the PlayStation 4 itself, is selling great. Might be slowing that down a little bit, so this might be a time to launch another console. And so, does it make sense? Possibly. The only Achilles heel that Sony really has, and some egg on their face, is that their PlayStation 4 Pro or their PlayStation 4 can't play these. And that's kind of silly, honestly. I would just take a PlayStation 4 that would play these, honestly. And so, that's why I got another Xbox One S. I got two now, and I have one that essentially plays as my multimedia center, and yeah, it's great. So anyways, back to PlayStation 5 coming out this year. Does it make sense? Well, it could possibly take some thunder away. Console releases are pretty interesting. People get really excited about new hardware. It would have been 5 years. They could essentially launch a new system and still promote the 4 and just have two. You know, they really don't have a portable right now. You know, the Vita's all but on life support, if not officially dead. And so, launching two consoles, you know, might be a smart move for them. It all depends on what it looks like. You know, is it going to be able to be fully backwards compatible? I think that's my big issue with a new console. I'm less excited about a new console coming out, no matter who it is. And the main reason why is that now that I'm more invested in digital downloads, I don't like setting up a new console having to either buy or transfer half of my games, or half of my games not transferring. It's frustrating. That's one thing that PC gamers are, you know, well off with, is that, you know, you buy a game on Steam and it works on your next rig or next setup, and that's that. And it's really frustrating sometimes with consoles, and that hopefully Sony gets that, is that I'm getting kind of tired of having to get used to a new interface, and my old games don't work on my new system. It gets old. And so hopefully, if the PS5 is coming out, it should, or hopefully should be, more backwards compatible. That's one frustrating thing a lot of people had with the PS3 versus PS4, not being able to play your games, especially with the digital games. You know, having to rebuy a same game, or not being able to play a game that you purchased on the same branded console is frustrating. And so that's one thing that hopefully that they amend or fix. That is true. Now, there's a lot of what ifs here, and I think we need to talk about them. So there's a lot of what ifs. What if Sony's PS5 is something like a Switch? That it's a high-end, powerful console, but you can take it on the go. You know, that would be amazing. Or it could be a separate project. And so thinking Sony could do a Switch-like game console, I think it would be brilliant. Or maybe the PS5, something like that. I think that would be amazing. Whether or not they do it or not, that's yet to be seen. But one thing's for certain, I think that 4K gaming is something that Sony's looking at. They know that the PS4 kind of missed the mark with that. And so coming out with a newer console that one-ups the Xbox One X, I think would be smart. I think it is the future. I think they're going to have to be smart, but I think they have a loyal following. I mean, PlayStation brand is strong. PlayStation 4 has sold amazing. It is the #1 gaming console for this generation so far. You know, whether or not the Switch can catch up to it, that's yet to be seen. Switch will possibly catch up to with the Xbox One, but that's because, you know, the Xbox One is only selling great in a couple regions. And you know, the truth be told is that the launch of the Xbox One really hampered it. Now it's a great console, but too little too late. Alright, so PlayStation 5 at the end of the year, would I be excited? Would I be getting it? That's hard to say. You know, I love the PlayStation 5, but if it is a powerhouse, it's probably going to be expensive. And, gosh, I don't know. I don't play my PlayStation 4 Pro enough. And there's a question of backwards compatibility. It's only time will tell. E3 should be the unveiling if Sony is going to actually launch something. Now, there are supposedly dev kits already out in the wild. Whether or not they're going to launch in 2019 or not, yet to be seen. But, you know, the PlayStation 4 will be 5 years old in November. And it might be time. It might be time to go ahead and announce a new console. Get ahead of the Xbox One X. And, you know, make their mark. And so that's my thoughts. I think it could be a possibility. I think that they have to be very careful. I think, obviously, it's going to be graphically superior to the PlayStation 4. It's going to have to do 4K gaming. It's going to have to play these. It's going to have to play these. Silly that the PlayStation 4 Pro or the PlayStation 4 doesn't play these. That was just a silly move. That's probably my biggest issue with PlayStation 4, is that it should have been able to play those. But it's okay. I mean, like I said, I got a console that does that. The funny thing is, too, that not many people know that about the Xbox One S, that it does play with a 4K TV. It plays those. And so it's silly. Anyways, what are your thoughts about the PlayStation 5 possibly coming out at the end of 2018? Again, this is just rumors. The rumors came from reliable sources that have predicted other things in the past. And so that should be noted, that this came from semi-accurate, and they have been known to predict other things. So anyways, the source is semi-accurate. Anyways, what do you think about the PlayStation 5 coming out in 2018? Are you excited? Is this something that excites you? What are your thoughts? I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it today. I had a nice relaxing day and just wanted to talk about potential of a new console coming out. It's always exciting when new consoles come out. I get excited, you know, new console come out, you know, see the specs, see what games, see what the graphics look like. But truth be told, when it comes to this, you know, I'm kind of getting tired of having to rebuy half my games. So I'm going to be more interested in purchasing a console that can play all my old games. And so that's one thing I like about computers, is that with the Steam model, you can do that. Thank you so much for people around the world who continue to tune in to my videos 3 times a week. It is most appreciated. I also have a Patreon for as little as $1 a month. I upload an exclusive video. That's right, an exclusive video every month, only for my people who donate to my Patreon. So thank you so much. This is the immortal John Hancock. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. You take care.